Professor Shobana Shankar in the History Department, and I'm an affiliate in Africana Studies. I'm very excited. This is my first time to be teaching this Globalization Studies class. I'm excited to be team teaching it with Professor Levy. My research areas are on African history, particularly West Africa, Nigeria, Senegal, and Ghana. And I also work on religious interactions, Christian-Muslim interactions, and also African-Asian relations in colonial and post-colonial times. And another important area of my research is health and disease in different parts of the world. And one other topic I've worked on that is really important to this class, which we'll talk about more, is the history of humanitarianism and global aid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Levy. I'm a professor in the sociology department and an affiliate of the history department. I've been working on various global matters during the last 2 decades. My research interests involve historical developments in the field of migration, human rights, and the way they intersect with memory studies. I've had the pleasure to teach the inaugural course of this interdisciplinary class last semester with Professor Tracy Waters from Africana Studies. And I'm thrilled to have another opportunity and teach it with Professor Shankar, who's a historian, this time around. Looking forward to a great semester.
It might be helpful for you to know about some of the specific ways we'll cover the topics in my research areas. So to give you one example, in religion and politics, one pattern that we see around the world today is the rise of reformism or fundamentalism or religious conflict that is based on an apparent disagreement between different religious groups about matters of theology or behavior. So we'll look at this in comparative perspective around the world: Muslim societies, Christian societies, Hindu societies, Jewish societies, and to look at what the reasons are for religious conflicts and tensions, as well as the rise of movements to change and make more strict the practice of religions in different societies. Another illustration is to think about how we'll approach health and disease is related to religion. You might have heard the term faith-based development, and a very important aspect of globalization today is the delivery of funding, development programs, education through religious organizations. This really does go back to the HIV/AIDS pandemic, which has a lot of important examples for us to study given what we're going through today. And it was during the HIV/AIDS pandemic that faith-based organizations began to receive millions and millions of dollars in aid, particularly from the US government, to disperse around the world. So we might think of this as a kind of religious imperialism, especially in health matters. So that is one way we will approach health and disease. And finally, a topic that we're also interested in exploring more deeply this semester is the question of migration and diasporas, but looking at these topics not only through migrants coming to wealthy societies in the world, but also people moving in unexpected ways, in unexpected directions to countries that perhaps are not wealthy, but there are opportunities. So for example, from my own research, a lot of Asians have actually been migrating to Africa, not just in the last several decades, but over centuries. And in fact, now China is in fact the African continent's biggest trading partner, and there are thousands of Chinese migrating to Africa, whether for short-term contracts or long-term periods. And there are Asian diasporas who have been long-term settlers on the African continent. So we want to look at these kinds of unexpected dynamics that are a vital part of globalization, especially when you move outside of an American or European-centered view.
Yeah, so Professor Shankar just highlighted some issues that we're going to look at. They will be complemented by looking at the interconnectedness that results in a series of global flows. They range from commodity flows, finance, traditions, diseases that was mentioned, the flow of knowledge, the flow of technologies, the flow of images, and indeed the flow of people. So together we will focus on how these flows impact existing social, economic, and political inequalities. So looking forward to seeing you all in the spring. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Shobana.shankar@stonybrook.edu, Daniel.Levy@stonybrook.edu. You can find the information on the website, both of our respective departments and the Global BA site. If you want to stay updated on the Global BA and global news, please visit the website of the Global Major. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.
Bye. See you in the spring.